Good evening and welcome to Wednesday Night on Thames Television, which starts now with a murder mystery.
You are invited to a murder. A stranger lies dead in Arlington Grange. There are 6 suspects, but which one is the killer? Could it be Mrs. Peacock, lady of the manor and beautiful society hostess? Perhaps Colonel Mustard, military hero and intimate family friend? Is Reverend Green a saint or sinner? Is it Professor Plum, a man with a degree of suspicion? Miss Scarlet, Mrs. Peacock's glamorous stepdaughter? Or Mrs. White, loyal housekeeper and devoted confidant? Your host for Cluedo, Chris Tarrant.
Hello, welcome once again to Cluedo. It's your chance to unravel yet another murder mystery at Arlington Grange. Now, you can play along, as always, at home and see if your wits are sharper than tonight's celebrity guest detectives. I think it's unlikely against these, because we've got the singing sensation from Rene's Cafe, Allo Allo star Carmen Silvera, and author-journalist Sir Clement Freud. And competing against them, TV presenter Nina Miskoff and host of the really wild show, Chris Packham. Right, you look worried to death, actually. Now, I can tell you a bit later on, it's a test of deduction and elimination. They will get a chance to interrogate all 6 of the suspects, and one of those 6 did the deed. We'll also want to know what room it was done in and what weapon they used. Okay, now I can tell you, first of all, it was one of these 6 weapons. But was it the spanner, the lead piping, the African spear? Was it the revolver, the candlestick, or the kitchen knife? Now, whoever did it used one of those 6 weapons, and it was done in one of these 6 rooms. But was it done in the kitchen, the study, the dining room, the drawing room, the billiard room, or the library? Okay, 6 weapons. You're looking very worried, Carmen. 6 weapons and 6 possible rooms. First of all, though, your first piece of evidence. Now, there's a charity auction been organised at the Grange, but somebody's out to make a quick killing.
Good morning, Professor.
What's good about it? I don't suppose you've seen an adjustable spanner anywhere, have you?
Like this.
Oh.
If you want something, you have to pay. After all, it is a jumble sale. Sorry, charity auction. It's all for a good cause.
Oh, is the church roof a good enough cause? What happened to Mr. Payne? He usually does the windows.
On holiday.
Oh. I don't suppose you'd give me a hand digging a hole for that stupid sign.
Me, with 1,000 windows to clean. Sorry, Professor.
Sorry,
I think this is a Turner. I'm willing to place a substantial sum of money on it.
You mean the Turner?
Yes. If I'm right, this could be worth a fortune.
How much?
Maybe 6 figures.
Where did you get it from?
Oh, Mrs. Hastings packed it up with a whole lot of other rubbish. She's hoping it'll make a fibre for the church roof.
I think we could afford that.
Okay, I'll buy it. We'll split the proceeds.
to give me a start.
It's a rather nasty-looking thing, isn't it? It's a genuine African assegai. I found it in the loft. Thought it might raise a bob or two for Saturday.
Well, I wouldn't give it house room. Who are you? What have you got in your hand?
I'm your new window cleaner, missus. I was trying to fill my bucket and the outside tap broke away. Do you know where the stopcock is? There's a bit of a flood outside.
I've got a meeting. I know your face from somewhere.
Well, maybe you've seen me in church, Vicar.
Yes, I suppose so.
How dare you? You set one foot in my kitchen again and you'll get a taste of this.
Sorry, missus. Excuse me. These silver spoons yours, then?
Out!
My father used this in action in Africa.
Is it safe?
We'll be on Saturday. I prepared enough blanks.
What's this?
A silencer.
So, if you slip it on like this...
Temptation.
Clumsy idiot. Who is this man?
I'm the new window cleaner, miss.
Well, stay out of my way in future.
What are you staring at?
You are Colonel Mustard.
Yes.
Quite an art expert.
I know my way around.
Good eye for a turner, perhaps.
What?
I think you and I should have a little talk.
See, I knew I'd seen him before.
The window cleaner?
Yes, and now I remember. It was a few years ago. There was a minor problem with the church mission funds that went missing, and he was one of the detectives who came to investigate it. Surely they can't be reopening that case.
You're sure he was one of the detectives?
Positive. Don't you see he's working undercover?
Sounds as if you have something to hide, Reverend. A guilty secret, perhaps?
I'm not the only one here with something to hide. There is a little matter of the Old People's Holiday Fund.
And then a couple of silver spoons fell to the floor.
I don't believe it. Mrs. White has been with me for 15 years.
Of course, I could be wrong. Give me another couple of days to make sure. After all, you have paid me until Saturday. And let's face it, it's amazing how small things can suddenly become valuable.
Look, just do the job you're paid for and don't stick your nose into things that don't concern you.
I get the picture, Mrs. Peacock.
Now, where are you going?
I've got to close the upstairs windows before I can clean them, Professor.
How do you know my name?
Why should Best Dog get such a magnificent trophy? Hasn't our sense of values taken the wrong turning?
He was in my room.
Who?
The window cleaner. He made some excuse about closing one of my windows, but I could swear he'd been going through my desk.
That's disgraceful. Should you talk to your mother about this?
That's exactly what I intend to do.
Mrs. White, do you recognise this bag?
Where'd you get that?
Underneath your bed.
How dare you?
You're quite a magpie, aren't you, Mrs. White? Now then, what have we here? Some Chinese porcelain, a silver ashtray, a silver nutmeg grater. You've got quite an eye for small valuables. How long have you been stealing from Mrs. Peacock?
You won't tell her, will you? Please don't tell her. Look, couldn't we come to some arrangement?
Hello? Anybody there?
Now, how are arrangements going for Saturday?
Well, I always leave the asparagus tips till last, but the cakes are all ready and the lot of the sausage rolls are out of the oven.
You are a marvel, Mrs. White.
There's just one thing I must say. I don't like the look of that new window cleaner. I used to like Mr. Payne.
Has he been giving you problems, Mrs. White?
Oh, no, of course not. Well, not now.
The window cleaner. He's had a bit of an accident.
So Ben the window cleaner's kicked his last bucket. Now let's for the first time see the 6 suspects. One of them murdered him, but which one had the strongest motive? Did Ben's double dealing prove the final straw for Mrs. Peacock? Did he uncover secrets that led to his death at the hands of Miss Scarlet? Did he make a fatal arrangement with Mrs. White? Did something sinister from his past force the Reverend Green to kill him? Did the discovery of his financial fiddling lead to murder by Professor Plum? Or was a double cross over an old shady deal a motive for murder by Colonel Mustard? Our 6 suspects. Okay, so we've seen 6 suspects, 6 weapons, and 6 rooms. It was done in one of them. Now, this way you can get a chance to interrogate each of the suspects in turn. You can only ask one suspect one question. Started with you then, Carmen and Clement. Who do you want to talk to?
I'd like to talk to Mrs. Peacock. You've employed this incompetent lush who steals for 15 years in your kitchen, who incidentally chopped sausage meat with a knife, which...
Steady, Sir Clement.
What has she got on you?
Well, I actually inherited her with the house. She is a very old family friend. She is a wonderful cook, a superb housekeeper, and just because she has the odd tipple doesn't mean that she's incompetent. I also suffer from terrible migraines, and she gives the most wonderful neck massage.
Right, okay, let's clear that up. Nina and Chris.
Yes, we'd like to address the Reverend Green first and ask him whether it was true. Had he ever secreted any church funds under his cloth?
Secreted?
Yes. There's a double meaning in there.
Yes. I'm just getting over the shock that some people think I may have murdered someone. Well, it was a very embarrassing thing. It was some money we collected at Easter, strangely enough, for the Third World. And I must admit, I did put it in the safe. It was £5,000 or something. And I locked the safe, and when they came, it was gone. And I was questioned several times. Deeply embarrassing. No, I didn't secrete it.
Carmen. Clement.
Well, Miss Scarlett seemed very adept at fitting the silencer to the revolver. Are you used to handling guns?
Well, shotguns more than anything else, but certainly not pistols. But it was a fairly simple and obvious place for the silencer to go.
Christina?
Well, we can't ask Miss Scarlett anything because she's just been asked, but I'm desperate to know where she got her earrings. But that's...
You can't
I can't ask her that, no. All right. Well, what I want to know is, Colonel Mustard, in that final scene where you walked across the hallway, what were you carrying in that bundle?
It was just a bundle of clothes.
Just a bundle of clothes?
The jumble. I was taking it into the billiard room.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one more each. Only the murderer can lie, or the others must tell the truth.
Professor Plum, where are you a professor? What seat of learning could possibly have given you a degree? Why, when the window cleaner called you a professor at the beginning of the program, did you take no notice? And at the end of the program said, how did you know my name? And how would he have known your name?
Well, as far as my professorship is, I took it in a mail-order catalogue. Secondly, as far as Ben is concerned, I was very puzzled at the time how Ben knew that I was a professor, because I'd never seen him before. I wondered why Miss Payne wasn't there doing the windows as normal. And what then happened, I subsequently found out from the Reverend Green that the fellow was a detective. And at that point, I realized that he must have been doing his homework. And that's how he found out that I was a professor.
Okay, Nina, Chris, one more.
Is Mrs. White? Mrs. White, yes. Are you a thief, or did you have any intention of giving that secreted bag to charity?
Don't have to answer that.
She does have to answer that, Mrs. Peacock.
Well, I can't lie, I don't get a very large salary, and it hasn't gone up with the years, and so I...
Do you have to pay for your own gin?
No. I would like it put on record that I may have an occasional nip for medicinal purposes, but that doesn't mean that I'm a dipsaholic.
I'm not sure that's answered the question, actually, Mrs. White.
Well, I'm afraid I do occasionally take things that don't belong to me, but only very small things.
What sort of small things?
Spoons.
OK, right, now you've asked your 6 questions, one of each suspect. Only the murderer can tell lies. All the others must be telling the truth. Now, I want to know where it was done, what it was done with, and who done it. Clement and Carmen.
We think it was done in the library, don't we?
Yes.
We also think it was done with the revolver.
Or the candlestick. I don't think clergyman...
Fishing, Sir Clement. Come on, make him
I think
mind
the
up.
clergyman was a great revolver man myself.
Come on, which one?
Candlestick.
Candlestick. Right.
Oh, and who was it?
The Reverend Green.
Good grief. OK. Now, can I just ask you why?
Well, it seemed a thump, which went for strength. And I don't think the cook or the daughter are capable of that sort of incision. Mrs. Peacock would be my second choice. The 2 other men have an alibi.
OK. Chris and Nina, how are you getting on? Now, what do you think so far? Where, what with, and who?
Well, we thought that it might possibly be the kitchen.
With the lead piping, since that's where it was put on the table.
Yeah.
And we also felt that the Reverend Green had something to conceal and was racked with guilt, actually.
So you're saying kitchen, lead piping, and Reverend Green. Well, I can tell you that only one of yours is right. Carmen and Sir Clement. Now, you said it was done in the library. You said it was done with the candlestick and that it was the Reverend Green. Now, I can tell you that none of those is right. Which does mean, at least, that the Reverend Green is completely innocent.
Thank you very much.
Apart from that, you were terribly close. So the Reverend Green is exonerated. As we go into part 2, I don't know how you're doing at home. I suspect you're getting along a little bit better than our detectives. Join us again in a couple more minutes for some more Cluedo and some more evidence. Welcome back to the second part of Cluedo, another murder to solve at Arlington Grange. Now, all we know so far from the deductions of our 2 teams, from Clement and Carmen's answers, we know, I told them they had all 3 wrong in the first part, so we know that the library wasn't where it was done, we know it wasn't done with the candlestick, and we know it certainly wasn't Reverend Green, the saintly Reverend Green, OK? Now, before we want to interrogate these suspects any further, there's a bit more evidence of the events that happened at Arlington Grange that day.
Hello? Anybody there?
This is absolutely gone far enough.
If you have a problem, it's far better to work it out than losing your temper.
I'm not interested in your philosophy, Professor. Where's Colonel Mustard?
I've no idea. Not down there, as far as I know.
It's that man. I told Mother, but she laughed in my face. I could kill her.
You know, Professor Plum's made a very good job of that.
Yes. Blanche, dear, could I have a word with you? Now then, you may know how worried I've been at the amount of things going missing recently. Well, I've decided to take the matter no further.
Oh, I am glad. We don't want that sort of thing at Arlington. It lowers the tone of the whole place.
Yes. Well, we'll say no more about it. Now then, how are arrangements going for Saturday?
Well, I always leave the asparagus tips till last, but the cakes are all ready and the last of the sausage rolls is out of the oven.
So, some more evidence. I'm not sure, looking at your face, whether it's helped you or not. It has. Clement's nodding. OK, well, now, once again, both teams, you get a chance to cross-examine the suspects. You've got to give us a deduction, once again, of where it was done, what it was done with, and who done it. We know it's not the Reverend Green so far. As soon as you finish each of your questions, and you can return to the same suspect more than once in this round. OK, right, Nina and Chris, you start. Ask a question. Now, once again, we know the Reverend Green's out. We know that only the murderer can tell lies. All the others must tell the truth. Right.
I'd like to talk to Miss Scarlett first. How well did you know Ben?
I'd never met him before in my life.
Is that absolutely true?
Yes, it's absolutely true.
Right, now on the strength of that then, I want to know where it was done, what it was done with, and who done it.
Right, well, we'd like to go for Miss Scarlett in the kitchen with the dagger.
Terribly close. Tell you none of those, all right? Which does mean, by process elimination, you can rule out Scarlett, you can rule out dagger, and you can rule out the kitchen. Okay, and we also know it wasn't the Reverend Green. Right, Carmen, who are you going to talk to?
Yes, we want to speak to Mrs. Peacock again.
Again?
Yes. Why did you pick up the lead piping?
I never touched the lead piping.
Why do you think she did?
She is the murderer.
It's a bit sudden, Clement.
Nope.
Come on, then, on the strength of this, I'm interested to know how you got to this. I want to know where it was done, what it was done with, and who done it.
Billiard room.
The billiard room, okay.
Lead piping.
Yeah.
Mrs. Peacock.
Just tell me how you got to that.
Well, she is a liar. And the only people who can tell lies are the murderer. Is the murderer.
Well, it certainly wasn't.
She said Mrs. White was a good cook. And a good cook
That's
would
a
make
matter
the
of
sausage...
personal opinion, isn't it?
A good cook would make the sausage rolls at the last moment. To hell with the asparagus tips.
I'm still not quite sure how Sir Clement and Carmen got there, but I can tell you it was the billiard room, it was lead piping, and it was Mrs. Peacock.
I can't stand anybody trying to make a fool out of me. Colonel Mustard told me that our conversation about the Turner had been overheard by Ben. This man was under my employ, and I was paying him a great deal of money. And he tried to blackmail me, to come in on the deal. Can you believe it? Anyway, I was on my way to the cellar to look for more stuff for the auction, and passing through the kitchen, I decided to pinch one of Mrs. White's delicious sausage rolls. That's when I noticed the lead piping. From then, it was easy. I wandered through the house looking for him, and found him in my billiard room. He was about to take a shot. I hit him. By the way, the auction was a great success. We got £1,200 for the new church roof, and of course the painting wasn't a Turner after all. A shame that somebody had to pay such a high price for a fake. He shouldn't have tried to blackmail me.
So it was Mrs. Peacock who murdered the detective who tried to double-cross her. My apologies to the other five of you, the innocent five who are free to go. I'm sorry for wasting all your time. Only Mrs. Peacock must remain. Commiserations to Nina and Chris, because actually at one stage you were getting terribly close, and then you went wandering off into the wrong room or something. But I must say tonight, I don't know how you were doing tonight, but I suspect you weren't up to the speed of wit of Sir Clement and Carmen. So commiserations to Nina and Chris, but congratulations to Carmen and Sir Clement Freud. And that's it. Join us next week for another murder mystery on Cluedo. Good night.